This next segment is called Buyers. Are all your customers the same? Is every prospect that walks into your shop or every appointment that you go out on, are they all the same? They're not, they're everybody's different, and there's some customers are right and some customers aren't right. I disagree with the point that somebody once said that all customers are right. I don't think so. I think the right customer is always right. Our job in sales is to really qualify as to whether they are right for you, your product or your service. We all like to think that everybody we're going to meet is going to end up buying from us, and it was a long time before I actually had some sort of a system to qualify, and more importantly, to disqualify some prospects over others. And the system I use is the buyer system, and that's what I want to share with you now, so that you've got something which you can take away, and perhaps you're going to qualify your customers just a little bit more. I try and play a little bit of golf from time to time, and I always know that when I go out on a golf course, I'm going to hit maybe a big number. It's not pretty. I'm not a very good golfer. I enjoy it, but I'm not very good. But there's always going to be one moment on that golf course where I'm going to hit one stroke, and that stroke is going to be it. I'm just wishing there were TV cameras around filming me at that time. Now, there's only one stroke. I might hit another 100 strokes, but that one is the one that I want to reproduce again and again and again. And sometimes in sales, it can get like that as well, because we can get customers who buy from us once. We go out and see them once. It's one visit, and they say, yep, that sounds exactly like what we're looking for. I'm ready to sign up today. We then use that as our benchmark for every other client meeting, and really we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment, because everybody isn't going to buy on the first call. Everybody, or let's put it the other way, most people want some type of interaction over a period of time. We've got to decide who's who and where should we put more effort in. So if you can imagine or perhaps draw on a piece of paper a triangle. And at the top of that triangle or pyramid are the buyers, or the B in the buyer model. And the B stands for, those are the customers who want to begin right now. They want to start today. You've just gone in and said, yeah, that's exactly what we want, and we want to start it right this moment. Move further down the pyramid, and a slightly wider section here, the next group down are going to be what I call those people or those prospects who are interested in your product or service, and this is an important and have a date in mind. They have a date when they want to start something, or when there's something going on in their lives that they're basically re-engineering everything else around. In business, it could be that they're opening up a new store in another suburb. It could be that they're hiring some new people. It could be a change in legislation. On a domestic front with consumers, it could be something as simple as moving house. It could be about the birth of a new child. It could be anything like that. But whenever there's a change, it's going to be a really key thing. If you can get an idea of when there is an event line in their lives, if you can help them move things towards solutions towards that date and help them do that, you'll find it a lot easier to sell things. So first group, remember, they were the guys who want to begin right now. A lot less of those than everybody else. The next group down, they're the people who are interested and they've got a date. So it's interested with the date. Now let's move further down the pyramid. The next group down are going to be the Y in the buyer model. And the Y stands for yes. Yeah, they're essentially saying, yes, I'm interested. But the problem here? The problem is that they don't have a date. We don't know when they want to start or what they want to do. So all we know is that they're, sounds good, I'm interested. Problem with that is that your pipeline gets full of maybes, full of people who are sounds good, sounds really good. You take it back to your sales meeting and start telling your sales manager or your director, oh yeah, I've got all these customers. Yeah, they're all just queuing up. Everybody's interested, and it's really good. If you don't have a date, it's not that good, because what happens is that your pipeline gets really full of maybes. and maybes will eat you for lunch. They will they'll just kill you. You'll end up at the end of the quarter, at the end of the month, the end of the week, whatever your period is, and your maybes aren't going to come across the line for you. You know that, and I know that. So our job when we're talking to these customers is to clarify them. Where are they at? Those, yes, we're interested and no date, I tend to discount them, because we either need to promote them up the chain or down the chain. Now, the next level down, so remember we got begin now, interested with the date. Yes, we're interested. The next group down are the E's, and the E stands for envelope. Now the envelopes, these are a dangerous group. I've sent so many envelopes out in the past. The typical customer, yeah, well, they're interested. Sounds great. And now they're saying, could you put something in the post? Could you send me something? Look, that sounds really good. Could you just pop a brochure in the post or send me a proposal? Warning bells going off all over the place. When I walk into a sales floor with a new client and I look out onto their sales floor, I see lots of salespeople and there's no noise. People sitting there typing away. Tick, 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 tick. Nobody's speaking to customers. They're all be very, very quiet. They're all writing proposals. Now, we know what happens to those proposals, don't we? Those proposals end up where? Eventually, they end up in the bin. But before they get into the bin, there's about 500 messages left behind. Hi, did you get my proposal? Oh, hi, I'm just following up from my proposal that I sent you. Hey, it's me again. Yeah, I just wanted to know if you could call me back about that proposal. Customers, prospects get proposals all the time, and it's the easiest way in the world to get rid of junior salespeople by saying, look, sounds good. Why don't you send me something in writing? Why don't you type me up a proposal? Why don't you send me a brochure? The old envelopes were called envelopes because essentially what was happening is they were putting things into envelopes and sending it through. From our perspective, we need to stop that. And that means that you need to qualify the customer at that point and say, well, gee, Mr. Customer, let's just say I do send you something out and you open this brochure, this envelope, and it's exactly what your business needs right now. You look it up and you show it to your friends, say, look, these guys have put this together, option A, B, C, and it's just what our business needs. Mr. Customer, what happens then? Do you see what happened there? When we said to the customer, what happens then, we're qualifying them, because if they tell me, well, what happens then is that I'll take it up and I'll put it in our folder and we'll look at that in 6 months. Well, then I know that they're not a prospect. They might be further down the track, but right now, in terms of me making this quarter and paying the bills, it's not going to happen. But if they say, well, if it's everything, it comes across and I open it up and it's just what our business needs, well, we'd probably move forward. Then I'm happy to send out the information. So with the envelopes, remember this, guys, you've got to qualify the envelopes. You've got to keep them really, really tight and make sure that what you send out has a purpose and it's qualified. Now, moving further down the chain, so we've got our B's, the guys who want to begin now. Those guys who are interested with a date. Next group down, they're interested, but they've no date. Okay, next group down are the envelopes. A lot more of those guys, the maybes. And then finally, the next group is going to come in there, the R's. Now, my accent changes that a little bit, but the R, or the R, as some people call it, stands for those customers who want to recycle and recall. Now, so for whatever reason, you've been contacting them, you haven't been able to make contact. And for whatever reason, they're going to stay in that database. They're going to remain in the database, and you're going to contact them again. Now, you might have a limit on how many times you'll try that. It could be 2, 3, 4 times, and that's fine. That's cool. You can make that decision yourself. But for whatever reason, they essentially haven't been qualified, and you need to have some type of contact before you can do that. And then finally, down at the bottom of the chain, there's the S in the buyer's model, BIYERS. Excuse the spelling, but it works that way. The S at the end of the buyer's model, well, it stands for suck. Let's just face it, there are some prospects out there who will just suck the lifeblood and energy clean out of you. Yeah, you might wake up one morning in a really good mood and you'll go out and you'll talk to 3 or 4 of these guys who just suck and you're not getting anywhere. The problem is that there's a lot more prospects out there who can suck the life energy out of you as compared to those people who want to begin now. Our job, and I've said this a lot of times before, our job in sales, we're in the frog kissing business. We need to kiss a lot of frogs to find that prince or princess. We need to touch people, and the more people you speak to, the greater your chances are of qualifying them and moving them up that chain. So remember this, when you're out in the field, when you're talking, when you're prospecting for new business, start qualifying them. All customers aren't equal.